So yeah, that ended peacefully. Obviously, like
Yeah,
there
and
was
it's
still
like
there was still like another like half hour, 45 minutes of announcements going on, and then obviously every time
Yeah.
the family decided to cheer
So
or
by
speak up
the
about something,
time
Joey mocked them like the
I know.
fucking son threw his
So
fist in the air.
jeez.
That
Yeah, we
he like,
waited.
threw his
We
fist in the
waited
air.
for them to like. We're watching them. Like eventually, somebody's name is gonna get called. That's gonna excite these people. So let's just wait so that the moment that they get excited and they're like, "Woo!" Tiny white people claps. We're like, can you quiet down, please?
Well, then, yeah, like at one point the son threw his fist in the air for somebody, and then Joey's like, "Oh wow, white power much?" But,
That's like just right now. And things like that tell me that I do have enough control over myself and enough patience still to
yeah,
not freak out.
because there's
in
no way we
inappropriate
wouldn't
ways
we
and
would
shit,
have
but just
intentionally ruined Tracy's day.
shit like
Because that
there's
wouldn't have
gonna
been
be
fun if
days,
he
though,
looked up
that
and
I'm
saw
just-
his
I
family
can
getting
just
dragged out from the
see-
rafters. Like,
Even though I'm pretty sure you would find it funny later on when we tell him the story. Like, just, I can tell, like, I'm just afraid almost that, like, one of these days is going to be a casual day. I'm just going to be doing my own thing, and then someone's going to say something stupid. I'm going to get frustrated at something, and then someone's going to say something stupid, and I'm going to say something stupider. And just escalate, escalate the situation, much like this, you know? And like, I don't see myself as the type of person to freak out on a cop because I have almost been arrested over something that had nothing to do with me before. It's just, I matched the description.
yeah.
But I was also like, it's my freshman year or so. So, like, I was still like more of a kid. And somebody was able to come out and be like, oh, this guy's just a kid who lives here. But, I'm not an idiot. But I do have a very short fuse, and I have, because that's my thing, is when I get really mad and, like, really fucking livid, I'll try to maintain that just, like, chill or just kind of blank face around people until I get by myself, and then I'll flip out. Or if I happen to be by myself and get angry, and I have had the tendency of breaking a lot of things by accident, or just fucking things up.
Yeah.
Because I don't realize in the moment that I'm overreacting.
Yeah.
Like
It happens.
I worked as a housekeeper once. It was just a bad week, and I was in a bad mood. A lot of shit going down, a lot of stupid things. I was getting frustrated and cleaning a particularly bad room. And this is two different stories, actually, 2 different days. This one, I got irritated and kicked a trash can kind of across the room and dented the fuck out of it and just had to play it off like, oh man, look what the guest did. But then another day we were training I gotta turn that radio off.
Cabbage Patch Nosferatu,
None of that
aka Billy Corgan.
can't pay for music in this game. But I was training a new guy, just kind of pretty nerdy dude, because I was wearing an MC Chris shirt, and or like had an MC Chris button or bag or whatever, and he recognized what it was. Hey,
Oh, that guy.
Brother.
You left the boat
from
with
Russia.
Wow.
But yeah,
Europe.
he either heard me listening to MC Chris or just recognized my bag. It's like, oh, you like MC Chris? And that was the only conversation I really had with him
Yeah.
and shit. Because it was kind of weird. You could tell, like, he went out to his car to, like, he was the only guy at the time who ever actually went on break while everybody else was just focused on work. And, like, we just were so focused on that. We're like, we'll take breaks at the end of the day when we're done with this shit because it's just too much work.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go on outside with them when they wanted smoke breaks, and I would just stand and talk with them. But this guy actually took, like, clock out breaks, and, like, kind of didn't really win everybody over for, like, not really being much of a team player like everybody else. But I can't blame him because he was new and didn't quite know. Like, he didn't have to stay. But we didn't hate him either. It was just like, oh, eventually he'll catch on, or like he'll get quick enough to where we don't have to wait for him at the end of the day when he takes his breaks or whatever. But then I pin it down to this event that happened as to why he left, because he told our boss that me and the other housekeeper, Donna, my friend, that we were the reasons that he left because we were the favorites who, like, we could get away with anything and all this shit. And we're like, what the hell is he talking about? And she was like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm like, I think I know what he's talking about. Because he finished up his rooms one day. He had a couple of like just short stayovers or whatever, and I had a bunch of shitty do-outs, and I was just in a bad mood by the time he finished his stuff, but he was sent to go help me, you know.
Yeah.
So he came into the room right as I was hucking something across the room because I had to get something for it. Like, no, he came in and was like, "Hey, what do you want me to do?" And I was already in a mood and was just kind of like, "Just go make the fucking beds or something." And I was doing something else and realized like, oh, somebody fucked this thing up. I gotta go downstairs and get this shit and then come back up. And it was one of those, every little thing was just making it worse.
Yeah.
So he's making the beds, and then he suddenly just, I imagine it from his point of view in this separate room of this suite, sees a tied up bed sheet or something just suddenly fly into the room and slam against the window. Just like crash. And then hear me go, oh, fuck. Because I think I busted like a lamp or something as it was flying across the room. Didn't break it. It's like, fuck. And then I walk in the room, right? Remember, he's still in there. And look over and just see him timidly like tucking in the sheets and like trying not to make eye contact and shit. And then like 2 days later, he fucking quit.
Yeah.
It's like I've already
sort
like
of scared him out of the building.
Even before I ended up like getting to the point where just my fuse is getting smaller, you know, like I just had that dad luck where I accidentally just kind of break things. I got fumble fingers, you know, bad luck.
Yeah.
So when I get mad and lose my temper, that just increases so drastically to like almost everything I get my hands on is gonna be broken. Yeah, I know that's not healthy. I'm not proud of it. I don't brag about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I try not to let people know because it's embarrassing. Because as soon as I chill out, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? What does it matter with me? What am I letting this little stuff get me so worked up?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's why, I don't know, a couple years back, that's why I made the one and only time I actually ever did a New Year's resolution thing was I was like, look, I got to stop being so angry about shit.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying
And I got to, like, really focus on just kind of
maintain some sort of hippie living of just, you know, zen, fucking peace and love, you know? Just, I try to live in the moment. You know, and anytime I get too frustrated, I just play a game like this, and I'm like, ooh. Yeah. Don't have to take it on real people. Don't have to break real things. I can just you smash into a car chase and shoot some motherfucker who owes my buddy money. Yeah. No big deal. Next day I'll be fine. But like, I've just been thinking about that stuff a lot this week. Cause for some reason this week, I'm pretty sure it's just because of the heat. Like the AC in the building doesn't work.
Yeah.
It's just not working. So as soon as I get in, like I walk to work, and it's humid as fuck. So my shit's already like sticking to my balls and everything. And then I get into the building, and it's even hotter, and I'm just like, oh god. And I'm just immediately just not in the mood for anything.
Yeah.
And
He
so
doesn't.
I keep getting irritated at little
That's
things
the way it
now.
was when I was working at Amazon for a while until they finally installed AC units.
Yeah, which apparently they had to do.
Throughout the entire
They were
building.
about to get sued last year, earlier this year, because somebody who works there like spilled the beans to the news that like their AC wasn't up to snuff. You know.
I'm not fucking surprised by that.
So like because somebody let that out, Amazon was like, "Oh no, we totally were having somebody to come in to fix those this week. We have it scheduled. It's happening this Thursday."
Yeah.
Like,
They're good at covering their asses like that. They're for two
But of
2
course,
years.
the person who said something was anonymous, so they didn't get fired.
Because they would have been fired immediately, and they probably would have tried to sue them for defamation of name and stuff like that.
But then there's some things like the things that get me irritated at the beginning of the day that I was talking about earlier, which I feel like I gotta be very just nonchalant, just kind of low key about some of these things I talk about from work, because
Oh, let's go.
between things getting hot and just little things kind of irritating me, and kind of I've just been in that state of mind at work this week where I'm like, I just kind of want to be alone. I want to work on my own because I'm so used to having jobs that I'm the only person on my shift. Or I'm just kind of left alone on my section of the building.
Day shift on summer, it's all about working.
So right
as
now,
a team.
it's made sense that we've been having to do stuff as a team because we've been moving a lot of shit. You know. But now we're just getting into the cleaning, and a lot of that stuff I can kind of do on my own. But it helps having somebody else there, so that's why I keep trying to tell myself, like, just I'll help, but it's just I have somebody who is better at helping me clean than somebody else, and the person who's good at helping me clean is on vacation this week. So I'm just kind of stuck with the other guy who's not really like just. I can talk to him or whatever.
Oh snap!
Are you serious right now? I'm
snap.
trying to do a bank job. Fucking playboy. Peace and love.
Love and peace. Love
You fucker! You fucker! Get the fuck out of your car!
He did, and he immediately played dead.
Get the fuck up! Get the fuck out of the car! You see? Some
Hey, you gotta go take
people-
care of XD. So random.
God. But like now, I'm getting into work, and let's just say work with some pretty evidently die-hard conservatives. Like I'm literally hear them today saying like, she's just such an extreme liberal. I just can't talk to her because it's always something against this them, and that just tells me
And
a
just
whole heap
don't,
loads.
dude.
When like, especially when he caveats it with, when she's just so liberal. She's like, I'm for abortion. Well, I know. You're all about baby killing. I'm like, I shouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
God, but I want to. Because, I mean, I'll just put it out there. I'm not exactly a Trump supporter, to put it lightly.
Eh.
I don't really, like adhere to any sort of politics one way or another. I don't care for Democrats. I don't care for Republicans, but I really don't care for Republicans. Or just the conservatives, because it's just a little bit too anti-human
Yeah.
policies. I believe in the idea that people should be free to do whatever the fuck they want, whenever the fuck they want, as long as it's not harmful to anybody else in the way that they want to live their life.
Yeah.
Just why I see no reason why anybody should give a shit, how anybody lives their life. But people do. Some people, I might work with them, are just so. We need our guns. I need a gun that can fire 30 shots in 1 second.
I mean, that's...
Because, quote, there could be 30 of them.
Shit. Okay. Whatever you say.
Them who? Who are you talking about specifically? And why would there be 30 of them that you would need a gun to shoot 30 of them?
I thought it was always funny, because I worked with a guy like that too, how he'd always be going on about how he needs his gun, but like...
What do you need your gun for?
It's like...
Realistically, in your everyday
that's
life.
not my point. It's like, at your house, it's cool.
I don't want to
but
get
like,
house
but
protection is a totally
he
different
can't
thing.
bring it into work. You can't have...
Yeah. Like,
weapons
no shit,
on
especially when you work
campus.
somewhere like a school or similar.
So it's like your argument is invalid because you can't have it here. It's not
'Cause-
legal. You'll get fired for
Here's
it.
what I say: I'm for people having the right to own a gun to be able to protect themselves.
Right to bear arms. Yeah, I support it as long as
I
they're
believe
not
it's that whole,
lunatics.
I believe anybody can say stupid shit because I believe in their right to be able to say stupid shit. I just don't necessarily have to agree with everything you say, but you have the right to say whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
But
As long as we're not like people like in this game where you just, well, I'm
Cheesy
just going to fucking
vagina.
open fire into a fucking crowd.
yeah, like Nico does not represent my own actions. No. And that's like they're talking about Brownsburg. Some teacher was getting in trouble for bullying, I guess.
A teacher was bullying?
Because he wasn't calling a trans student by the right pronouns. Which is, for me, that's one of those, I can kind of understand both sides. Whatever. I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to open up that can of worms. I believe trans rights, but I also believe in give people a little bit of a chance
I mean, look at
to
Playboy
make a
here.
few mistakes.
Look at Playboy
You
here.
know?
I mean, he's
Like
got the flag right there on his... Actually, I don't know if that fits any of the
I don't know.
flags.
But, like, I've accidentally been in a situation where I'm talking to someone, you know, when they've got trans friends, and I'm, like, going from a gay bar to, like, another place and shit. And I'm talking about some people that were hanging out, and, like, telling my brother about them because I ran into him as we were going. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm just hanging out with these people, and I accidentally called one of the women a dude, or I said he instead of she, and got my ass chewed by one of their friends, you know. And it's like, I get it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but it was also like one of those Freudian slips. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to say that to be an asshole. It's not like I'm disregarding, you know, the pronoun. I'm from a place where Plainfield doesn't have a lot of openly anything people.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the most.
And it's like what we said
shit.
before, and because of that, it causes these people who identify differently to be really repressed. So when they finally do get a chance to be themselves, they're super aggressive about it.
Yeah, like we just
and
had
it's not their fault.
and shit.
You know, it's
We
not
just had
their
the pride
fault.
parades,
Watch out for that car. The car.
Get up.
I didn't realize he's on the car.
Get the fuck up.
Aw, he didn't do it the way I would have done it.
No,
I
I
always
didn't
like
think it was gonna go down.
I always like letting him get into the
Usually he
alleyway,
gets into the
and
alleyway.
I light him on fire. That's how I
But,
like to execute
You
a lot
know,
of
it's
people.
like it
in
was
this
just
game.
one of those. I'm sorry. Simple mistake. That being said, the guy. That's a totally the gender fluid guy, not guy as in man, just guy as in anybody. Guy, dude,
Bro.
that's all very gender neutral
Yeah.
phrases that I say. But she did have a beard, so yeah, she was in a dress. Yeah, she had her makeup done. Yeah, she was very pretty, but she also had a very distinct man beard. But that's hardly the point, you know. I still messed up. I apologized for it, but I also, after apologized, still got rained for another 20 minutes and was like, okay, I don't care anymore. You've made me not care. Because then I talked to the person later on, and they didn't give a shit.
That's always
They
the
knew I
hard
wasn't
part.
being hateful. Because like when I first met them, I'm like, hey, what's up, girl? You know, like, it's fucking, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit how you want to live your life. It doesn't affect me.
Again, it's like what we talked about before, how there's things that we grew up with that we considered normal, like, you know, being gay and trans people. Yeah, that stuff was normal to us growing up. So, like, now that it's so controversial nowadays, we're just confused by that because we're like, why is this such a big deal? This is normal to us.
When I hear people talk shit about it, and they're like, the guy, like the dude's talking about the teacher, getting back to the point, the teacher who got in trouble for bullying because he called the student the wrong thing. You gotta give people, especially people at a certain age, time to adjust because they definitely are set in a certain mindset and way, and they don't really think about that kind of shit, especially at schools, you know, where they just deal with so many different people every year.
Granted, there are like quite a few like over 60-year-olds
who will refuse.
Well, no, there's some that do adjust that are like, oh yeah, okay, I want to keep up, but then, you know, there's just some that won't, like they can't, and they won't get over it. But we have to be the bigger people, and we need to get over it because we need to get over the fact that they won't change, and they're not.
That's why I try to disregard. That's what I've been trying to.
Because they don't care. They want to be
hateful.
hateful.
Talk, you know, in the morning, I'm just drinking my coffee, scolding my tongue to keep myself from saying anything because I'm like, me opening my mouth right now is not going to make them change their minds.
No.
It's not going to do anything more than probably get me into a couple of shit, you know, that I don't want to deal with personally. Maybe that makes me selfish, you know, but. I'd just rather not have to get into that argument at work if I can avoid it. But, you know, they went from talking about, you know, like, you and this teacher got in trouble. How stupid is that? And by the way, did you know that these schools are also allowing students to use whatever bathroom they want? And then just more scoffs and just, what the hell's the matter with these people? And again, I'm like, I'm on the fence with that kind of stuff because I'm like, you gotta really like watch the kids.
Yeah,
there's definitely gonna be some smart ass fucking dude. He's like, oh, I want to see some chicks taking a piss.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna go into the women's locker room.
And if somebody tries to say anything,
just,
I'm gonna say I'm a woman.
Yeah, it's gonna be that like the dude who like, God damn it!
What time is it?
It's probably right past it. I can't tell. But, fuck it.
10, 21. Yeah, 21 is 9.
Yeah, there's always going to be that one dude, though, who, like, is the example that everybody's trying to use as to why it's a bad idea. Because that one asshole who's going to fuck it up for everybody. But, again, it's one of those weird things for me, Ron. Like, I get it, but I don't get it because I also, like...
We worry about the safety of some people.
Yeah, I don't want it to become, like, a dangerous situation.
Because it's like...
exploited situation.
Yeah, yeah. Don't want it to be exploited,
it's
and
cool
you don't
for
want
the people
people
that it actually acknowledges and is actually good for, but
like the folks who actually need it, they'll have that ruined for them and stuff like that.
Like,
it's not fair.
Does it become
because one guy wants to fuck it all up?
Good for the goose isn't good for the gander. Maybe the minority of people who have to deal with these issues, like,
God
I don't know,
damn it!
like it's a toughie, but I don't see that issue being resolved anytime soon.
Sadly.
But until then, I gotta just kind of deal with people who absolutely refuse to see any upside to it at all. You know? Which sucks.
Yeah.
Because they make me mad. And I don't want to be mad.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah, let me just vamp. Is the air on? Fucking. No, aim. There we go. Get the fuck out of my house. Zip, zoom. Yeah. I hope I don't sound too much like closed-minded asshole with some of the shit that I'm saying, because, like, I do want to be an ally as best I can, but there's some things that I am just kind of like, I don't know how to think about it. I don't know how to quite express the proper words the way that I feel without sounding kind of like an asshole. But just know, even if I say something that sounds like, you know, a closed-minded statement or just an assholish thing, just remember, I am on your side.
Yeah.
I am bad with words. I sound like an asshole a lot.
Shit happens.
But, you know, I don't mean to be. Call me out on it if I make a bad point, but call me out and make valid points as to what I should do better or should say better. Maybe I'm thinking the same thing that you are. I'm just putting it in the wrong way. You know? Like, I'm just trying not to get mad at me.
Yeah, I was just, well, the whole, what it comes down to is,
don't just get violently mad.
If you don't like something that is being said, confront.
Let's discuss
rationally.
It. Yeah,
don't start
let's
a fight.
Discuss it. Let's not argue over it. I want to have an actual conversation about this kind of stuff, like real human-to-human discussions. Because that's what you'll find. In real life, when you talk to people about this kind of stuff, you can have an actual conversation without somebody getting so pissed off. That's why it's so difficult to deal with these situations over the internet, and it becomes a huge thing with the news and this and that, because people on the internet always have much louder voices than the majority of people in real life. You know? This is different.
What? You were like just there too. That's what sucks.
Just the silent majority generally seems to not give a shit and are decent people that can have decent conversations about, right?
Yeah.
These hot button topics.
He's not too far away,
and,
if
like,
you can get
teach
off the
each other
highway.
things and learn things, you know? Whereas the people on the internet who just get mad and offended and want to change everything are just these people that...
They're looking for trouble.
They're not the majority of people, they're just the loudest people who don't know how to stop. It's just the same 5 people posting again and again and again all this shit until it pisses someone off and makes someone not listen anymore, or try to do something to piss off those 5 people, which then insults the larger majority of people who don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So, you know, just people have real human conversations in real life with real people. You know, don't get on the internet, because the internet's always just going to be fights. It's just going to be arguments and people getting at each other's throats. And radio, got to turn off the radio. Just don't want us to get in trouble. Did they turn off the air? because it's kind of hot in here.
I thought I turned it. Oh wait, I turned it off.
Yeah, I know.
Because we came in here and it was freezing.
Which I'm like, dude, go ahead and leave that on.
It just downpoured on us before we got home.
Yeah,
So
but now
it was
it's really
cold.
hot. I'm sweating. Good point. You can put it on low. Is there a low setting? Oh wait, shit. Yeah, I don't know how loud it picks up on these mics. Brucey, hey.
I picked a.
Hey.
Well, that was one of the first things that got pointed out to me. Is our buddy Ollie was like, "Hey, you got like a fan noise in the background."
Damn it.
And I'm like,
all right. Take all these considerations into consideration.
"What the fuck?"
I'm half hoping and half not hoping that I'll die while giving him a ride home because I really have to pee.
Jesus.
I'm just gonna pass you the controller. Yeah. I'll try to take it soft. Brucey! Sorry, I looked at my real phone. My phone got up. Let's go. Time to go. How far are we going? Not that far, but decent. Brucey, did you turn that radio on? You're gonna get us sued.
Copyright. Where'd he go?
Brucey? Brucey! Brucey! There you go.
I have no idea where he went. He just kind of like disappeared. Probably have to end up picking him up too when we're getting out of the hospital.